Hey gang, back with another video for you today, and it's another deep dive, and we are deep diving into a fruity note in fragrances, and most importantly, the note of strawberries. Are you a fan of strawberries in fragrances? Do let me know, add a comment below. I feel like strawberry has been kind of getting more and more popular, and I'm seeing it appear more and more in fragrances. Although there's only 25 or so fragrances here we're going to talk about. It's not like cherry. Cherry, there's a ton of cherry-focused fragrances. But recently, I'm seeing, like I said, more and more strawberry notes feature in fragrances. If you have a favorite fragrance that features strawberries, do let me know what it is. Add a comment below. And if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you like watching long-form videos, there's a playlist in the info box that will take you to my deep dive videos, and there you can click and watch hours and hours and hours of fragrance content. So, as I said, today we've got the fruity note of strawberry. In general, are you a fan of eating strawberries? And how do you associate the taste of strawberries and the actual smell of strawberries? For me, sometimes strawberries in perfumes or synthetic kind of strawberry smell features can be a bit girly. So in this collection there might be some, and I'll actually let you know about them, but there's also some more mature or more adult kind of strawberry fragrances here. So let me know what kind of variety you like of strawberries in fragrances. Uber fruity, a bit green, a bit young, not a little tart, super sweet and candied. Do add a comment below. So let's get started with the first strawberry fragrance that I've actually spoken about quite a bit. And it's from the house of Malin+Goetz. It's Strawberry. So Strawberry by Malin+Goetz is more of like a molecular take on the strawberry note. And it's not a girly, super sweet, candied kind of strawberry. It's more green. And the way they've featured it here is fruity, but like I said, it's got the greenness. And the strawberry itself is not necessarily sugary sweet. It's more tart and green, of course. Well, what I like about this here is it's super musky. It's got a bit of a molecular muskiness in the dry down. And even though it's not a beast mode fragrance, it's not intensely overwhelming. I love the way it smells. It's simplistic, but it adds some brightness, some juiciness from the strawberry, of course, going into the green side, and really love that about this fragrance. I didn't know this until I discovered it on a trip in Montreal from a perfume shop called Eclectique. Instantly there I fell in love with it because Montreal was so hot when I was visiting in the summertime, and this smelled so good with the heat coming off of my body in the cold cold perfume shop there. So I instantly bought this there, and I've been a fan. I've done a few features of this in videos, and I've also spoken about it in a shorts video. If you haven't tried it and you like a green, tart, fruity take on, strawberry fragrances, and of course, something a bit more molecular, think like Molecule 2, maybe another 13, maybe I don't know what, but more on the fruity green side, definitely try Strawberry from Malin+Goetz. I really, really love that one. So we've got a fragrance. I didn't even smell it. I got to do that here. Let's do that real quick before we move on to the next one. I'm forgetting. But that's definitely one of my all-time favorites. In fact, I'm traveling with it. I really love the way it's actually minimalistic. But in the heat, it's really, really awesome. And I'm smelling it here. It's quite juicy. It's known as Mara strawberries. So I feel like Mara strawberries are the smaller strawberries, not the big ones. And I have a love-hate relationship with strawberries as far as consuming them by eating them. Some of them just don't taste like anything, and I hate those strawberries. And there's some that I buy that taste so, so good. So sweet and delicious. But these, I believe, are kind of different, these strawberries that they featured here. I gotta look up the difference between the regular strawberries and Mara strawberries. But I'm quite intrigued and really loving this scent. This is awesome. One of my favorite strawberry fragrances. I'll do a top 5 afterwards, maybe a top 10, we'll see. But this is Malin+Goetz Strawberry. So next we've got a fragrance from a house called LUMI. It's MERAVIGLIANZA. You guys familiar with this one? So this is a fragrance that is fizzy as in champagne. It's funny, I've got two back-to-back champagne-y strawberry fragrances, but this one actually has a creamy whipped cream note added to it. This actually smells a bit young and girly. The strawberry is that kind of a strawberry, so it's not necessarily green like the previous one. This one has a lot more sweetness, and it also has that bubbly fizziness from the champagne. And behind it all, it's creamy as well because they've thrown in something creamy like whipped cream in here. But overall, it gives you a bit of a candy vibe. So if you like the idea of candy, strawberry candy for sure. Imagine something kind of creamy, milk and strawberries, and, well, I think of kids and children when I think of milk and strawberries. But this also has the champagne-y fizziness, and I don't think about kids when I think about the champagne. So it's kind of, I was going to say, imagine you were a kid and you were like chomping on some kind of a creamy candy that had a lot of strawberry in it. But then I was thinking, okay, they're not going to add champagne in it. Maybe there's kind of like a grape fruitiness in there as well. This is what I get with this one. So this is LUMI MERAVIGLIANZA. Let me know if you're familiar with that. As the fragrance settles down, it smells a little bit better. It's not my all-time favorite fragrance from the house. They have some gourmands there, though. So the next fragrance, we're going to the house of Lark. This is CALDA. Lark CALDA is, imagine doing some kind of a bubbly drink, sparkling wine, champagne, Prosecco, and there's a few slices of strawberries in there. On the other hand, here, even though this is a kind of a feminine style bottle, there's a tartness about this one. It's not as young and child and kid-like as the previous one. It's super tart here. It's also, once again, leaning green. This has other fruits in there as well, not just strawberries. But it's super fizzy and ice cold as well. So it's kind of a gourmand-esque fragrance, but I wouldn't say this is, you know, like vanillic, chocolatey, and things like that. It doesn't have that. There's musk here and jasmine as well. There's something sweet under there too, but up top, it's a bit sharp and tart. I get a kind of a crunchy effect with this one. I'm not sure why I'm getting that, because we know strawberries do not have a crunch. Oh, yeah, there is a greenness here. I think, yeah, there are some green floral type notes in this, I believe. It is acting a bit green and tart for sure. Either way, though, I think it's perfect for the heat. I find tart fragrances to be well suited for wearing when it's hot outside. And for me, this one smells good in that way. So this is Lark's CALDA. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Then we've got a fragrance from the house of Xerjoff. It's La Capitale. Are you a fan of this one? Let's see how this is. It's been a while since I've put my nose on it. Honestly, though, this is not one of my all-time favorites, but it seems to be a popular fragrance for Xerjoff. I don't know why. I think I had a hard time with strawberries as a note in fragrances. I just didn't think it was a serious note. And not that every note has to be serious. Before that, the same thing I thought with cherries in a fragrance. So for the longest time, this didn't really appeal to me. I think it's decent. It's fresh, but also sweet. Fresh and fruity and sweet and sticky. I believe there's caramel here. It's a bit simplistic in the way that it smells, and I don't get the strawberries in your face. It's almost like the strawberries are blended in a way that its smell is changed, and you're experiencing it not necessarily as a strawberry, but as some kind of a nondescript fruit. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? I know that Neiman Marcus here always has this fragrance out. So I'm assuming it sells. It's a popular one. Do you guys enjoy La Capitale? Let me know. Add a comment below. It's definitely not one of my favorite Xerjoffs, though. And the same thing with this one. I was so excited for this new commodity fragrance launch. It was underwhelming. This is Juice. And I've got the regular expressive. It's personal, expressive, and bold. I believe those are the different variations from the Scent Space collection. I wasn't that impressed with this one. First of all, when there's a fragrance that has a lot of red fruits, it somehow turns out boring for me. On top of that, when they call a fragrance juice, I assumed it was going to be juicier. To me, it's not juicy. It's a dry red fruits combo. But there's also rose here. So it's I think there's strawberries, there might be cherries, but I think there's raspberries, there's rhubarb. I don't know. What do you guys think? I like the bold version more. I like it because I feel like it had some patchouli. It was almost like a chypre style fragrance. The OG juice is not too juicy. What are your thoughts? Juice from Commodity. All right, so this is probably my very first introduction to strawberry fragrances, and it comes from a very indie house from Portland, Oregon called Imaginary Authors. This is Cape Heartache. The notes breakdown is on the back. So it's got a lot of woods, aromatic green woods, like pine and fir. This to me smells of, well, the experience I envision with this, you're walking through a pine forest or a fir forest, and you come to a small patch of growth of strawberries, you know, wild strawberries or something. So you get the smell of the strawberries because maybe it's hot out because it's baking, and you know the fragrance is, you know, projecting off of the strawberries. Plus you get the smell of the forest itself as well. The strawberries they use in here is a bit girly, but it's against very butch masculine notes. So it's very unique that way. It's almost like a carpenter is playing around with woods and there's strawberries involved somehow in a forest. What are your thoughts on this? Actually, I mean, that's actually how the visual is. And for some reason, the strawberries in this reminds me of strawberry shortcake. I don't know why. My sister played around with strawberry shortcake. It was very strawberry, and that strawberry does. But it's interesting because against the very masculine notes, you've got this kind of a girly strawberry note, which is kind of an interesting combo. What are your thoughts on that one? Do let me know. That is Cape Heartache from Imaginary Authors. So next we've got a fragrance from the house of Christian Louboutin. It's called Loubidoo. Loubidoo. I fell in love with Christian Louboutin's Fetish L'Ambre. So good. It's so good. Here, I can see the strawberries. It's also lots of rose. So it's a rose strawberry combo. They've made the rose fruity, which is actually something that is pretty nice for... It complements, rose complements fruits, because I think roses have a fruity side. So the fruitiness of the strawberries brings out the fruity side of the rose. And it's on a bed of cedar here. Lots of cedar, it's woody. But it's juicy strawberries. I wouldn't say this is super girly strawberries. I think the strawberries in Cape Heartache were much girly than the strawberries in here. This acts more tart. It's a more tart and juicy strawberry. And with the Cape Heartache, I had kind of a dry strawberry effect because all the surrounding notes were dry. I much prefer Loubidoo over Juice, in fact. I don't know. It's juicier for me. There's more juice in Loubidoo than there is in juice, which is kind of strange to say that. That's a fun fragrance. The strawberries almost remind me, this doesn't have greenness, I should say. I was going to say it almost reminds me of Strawberry by Malin+Goetz, but no. The rose here is pretty powerful, so it's a nice fusion of strawberries and roses together. That's a good one. Next, we're going to the House of Two. Apparently, they like the name Two, T-H-O-O, Two. This is Guilty Crush. Look at that bottle. Absolutely love their bottles, by the way. Are you guys familiar with Guilty Crush? So there were a few strawberry fragrances that I was trying to get, but I wasn't able to. And I'll tell you what those are at the end of the video. But again, as I said, there's about 25 strawberry fragrances in this video. Guilty Crush is very creamy. And there's this interesting texture of buttery creaminess in this, with a lot of strawberries and cherries. I think I know where that texture is coming from. They have a note called lipstick in here. To me, this doesn't smell like lipstick, like DHI or DHP, the original, had that lipsticky smell. This does not smell like lipstick, but the texture is acting lipsticky, kind of thick and gooey, but more buttery. That's actually a fun fragrance. Kind of going to a fruity gourmand direction, because there's also some floral notes in there like rose. That's Guilty Crush. What are your thoughts on this one? Let me know if you're a fan of strawberries. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, guys, if there's a subscribe button, and also click the bell icon. And while you're watching, give a thumbs up for this video, please. So that's Guilty Crush, as I said, from the House of Two. And then we're moving on to a fragrance from the House of Maison Mataha. It's Evasion Bonbon. Evasion Bonbon. Do you guys like this brand? So this is a very candied strawberry fragrance, super candied. In fact, I can just envision, there's a Mexican restaurant I go to, and they have lollipops that you get after you dine. And some of them are so super sweet and hard candy. Gives me the idea of that. It's so candied sweet. Super, super candied. This has also got like marshmallowy notes and a lot of floral notes. But the experience is this a very hard candy with a very strong, sugary, fruity strawberry flavor. And once you're done with that hard candy, your tongue is going to be red because it's a red color, and you're not going to get the flavor out of your mouth for a while. So throw it away before you run out of it, kind of a thing. That's what I get with that. This is Evasion Bonbon, not Invasion, but Evasion Bonbon. Next, we've got Bubblegum Factory from the House of THEODOROS KALOTINIS. Do you guys know this brand? So this is, my bottle's not spraying very well. This is bubblegummy for sure because it's called Bubblegum Factory. It's strawberries, vanilla, and sugar. So in the end, they were trying to come up with a bubblegummy flavor and flavored bubblegum with strawberries, with a vanillic undertone, and sugary sweet kind of a thing. I like some of the fragrances of this house. This is not my favorite. But the thing is, it starts off a bit boring, and then it develops, becomes a bit better. And the strawberries kind of start picking up, and strawberries become a bit tart. Juicy as well. But initial blast is on the boring side with this fragrance. But for sure, you're getting bubblegum. Yeah, as a kid, I was really a big fan of bubblegum, and I would put like 2 or 3 pieces in my mouth and chomp on them. Chomp, 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 chomp. And I like them sweet and candied, sweet and fruity and all those kind of things. Don't do that much anymore. But this does develop to strawberries, definitely. Bubblegum, strawberries. Strawberry bubblegum. So that's Bubblegum Factory from the house of THEODOROS, KALOTINIS. Then we've got a fragrance from a new house I haven't spoken about before called SALUM. It's Strawberry Pool. Who's familiar with this house? It's a new house, newish house. This has a combo of wild strawberries and also strawberries. So this has well, it's called Strawberry Pool. What am I getting? It doesn't smell like a swimming pool, because it's got this minerally kind of aquatic marine thing. But behind it, there's also suntan lotion, because that's a note that they have in the fragrance. Very interesting. It's gives me mineral vibes for sure, but on the fruity side. It's a lot of strawberries, but the strawberries are a bit calm, not super strong. Especially the fact that they have wild strawberries and strawberries here. Very interesting. This smells like something that Comme des Garçons would release, which is weird. Why am I getting that? It's like strange notes that you think are not going to work, like pool water, kind of, sort of. Suntan lotion and strawberries, and it does go a bit like mineral marine. Okay, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think? Does it sound great to you? Strawberry Pool from the house of SALUM. Let me know if you're familiar with that house. All right, next we're going to the Spirit of Dubai. This is TURATH. It's the only fragrance I have from the house, and I actually really love it. And the strawberry in here is not in your face. This is the bottle. It was in a case. Comes like that. The strawberries in here are not in your face. It's a pretty prominent note, but there's so much going on here. It's very complex. But it's actually quite good. There's dried fruits here. There's, of course, oud. There's, of course, rose and saffron. There's amber woods. There's leather. And there's apples. And, of course, the strawberries. There's a bit of caramel. It's a super complex fragrance, and it's very, very long-lasting. Definitely one of the best from the house, I think. And I don't know what's going on with the brand. I haven't seen them much lately. Are you guys familiar with the Spirit of Dubai and TURATH? It's called TURATH. This is actually also, you're not buying it for the strawberries. If you like strawberries and you want a strawberry fragrance, this is not it. You've got a lot going on here, and it's a really, really complex wearing experience. There's a lot of phases you go with this fragrance. But a very great Middle Eastern style fragrance. So that's TURATH from the house of Spirit of Dubai. We're going to the house of Federico Cantelli. It's Popcorn Cake. Lots of pink there. Whew. I'm the biggest fan of popcorn. I've never had it as a cake. Is there such a thing? Popcorn's become quite a popular note lately in fragrances. This to me does smell like realistic popcorn. But also behind it, there's a milky, creamy strawberry, like strawberry milk kind of an effect happening. I'm craving some popcorn now after smelling this. But there's vanilla here, there's butter, there's caramel. There's a breadiness in here. It's quite yum. I don't care for the bottle, unfortunately. I mean, the bottle itself is okay, but the pinky kind of colorful. What, an AI image or something? Is that what it is? The smell itself is nice. I like it. It's got that sweet and saltiness from the fact that the popcorn gets salty and you know, that unique texture it has, and of course the sweetness, the butteriness, the caramelly touches, the bready touches. It's actually yummy. So popcorn cake. Not super strong with the strawberries as well, but it's there. It's definitely there and fruity. And then you've got another one from the house. It's called Berry's Passion. And you can see the strawberries on the cover of this label. These bottles are not spraying very well, sadly. You know what this one smells like? Oh, I got some in my mouth. God, it really does remind me of it. Yoplait yogurt with strawberries. Why is that giving me that vibe? Like when you open up a little Yoplait yogurt and, you know, you stir your yogurt and that strawberry that's inside under there kind of stirs in. And I'm not a big fan of Yoplait. I've had it in my lifetime on travels. I like my plain yogurt. That's a bit on the tart side. This does remind me of that. It smells, especially since it's got this creamy undertone as well. So lots of berries. Maybe it's actually not just strawberries with the Yoplait. Maybe it's like a bouquet of different berries that's in there. But that's the kind of vibe it's giving me, especially on first blast. There was a creamy undertone with the fruitiness, and it had that kind of yogurty creaminess. There's caramel here. There's vanilla for sure, and ambery notes too. I like this one too. It is, both of them are a bit young, a bit girly, but not so much. I think the one that was super girly might be MERAVIGLIANZA. I would say the 2 is also a bit girly. The Bubblegum Factory maybe, and of course the Maison Mataha Evasion Bonbon. That's very girly, but I'm still not sure what to think of Strawberry Pool. Like I said, it's kind of reminding me of a Comme des Garçons fragrance because it's kind of a strange combo, but it actually works. So it's got this kind of minerally marine thing happening, a bit of chlorine-like effect because it is a pool, but you've got the strawberries and you've got some ginger in here too. Very interesting fragrance, Strawberry Pool. Let's move on to a Louis Vuitton fragrance. It's Étoile Filante. I recently discussed this in a video of Jacques Cavalier fragrances. If you are a fan of his creations, or if you're a fan of Louis Vuitton fragrances, every single one of my Louis Vuitton fragrances is in that video because he's created them. I don't have every Louis Vuitton fragrance, by the way. But here we have a very fresh, not super girly take on strawberries. The strawberries are there. It's fresher, and it's also a bit greener like that, but not as green as the Malin+Goetz strawberry. This does have the signature Louis Vuitton DNA, though. There's something watery and aquatic happening with a lot of the fragrances from Louis Vuitton. They've got this kind of watery DNA. Is that because Jacques Cavalier, who created the l'Odyssée pour Homme, created the aquatic watery style, or, you know, perfected it, and then so he moved it on to the Louis Vuitton. But this one's actually good. It's very, very fresh. It's very watery, and the strawberry is a bit tart, not super girly, not super jammy, fruity, but there's enough fruit there to kind of experience the fruitiness, but not swim in a lot of fruit, kind of a thing. I like that. Étoile Filante by Louis Vuitton. Next, we've got a fragrance from the house of Rabanne. It's Armure Mara. Finally have a bottle to talk about. This is from Puig. It's a Puig brand. This is a Chypre style of fragrance. Chypre style, meaning it has patchouli and rose, but it also has the, well, Chypres, classic Chypres most of the time didn't have rose. More modern ones seem to be more rosy, rose, patchouli, oak moss. But generally, the Chypre is bergamot, labdanum, oak moss. Top, heart, and base. But this is kind of a fruity Chypre with the strawberries. There's a lot of patchouli here. It's really good. It's definitely one of my 3 favorites that I fell in love with from the line. And I finally have one of them to speak about here with you guys. And then the strawberry in this is also not super girly. Like, it's not over-the-top strawberry. It's not strawberry shortcake. It's not candy strawberry. It's more like realistic strawberries. Not overdosed and synthetic. Definitely really, really good. Love that. It's created by Eleanor Massenet. So that is Armure Mara. It's brand new. I just featured it in a haul video. Next, we're going to the House of Myth. It's Strawberry and Cream. Who's a fan of the House Myth? This has notes of strawberries. There's almond here. There's vanilla. There's creamy notes. Once again, it's not super girly. It's sweet, but not overly candied. Like Evasion Bonbon is probably the most candied here. Super, super candied. Super sweet. I feel like they've edited the strawberry perfectly. It's big, it's sweet, slight bit candied, but not over the top. I think there's some floral notes in this that actually kind of tones down the overdosing of the strawberries. There's also a bit of other berries in there and some tonka, I think. Something vanillic. All right, so that's Myth with strawberry and cream. Let me know if you're familiar with that. We've got 2 Gritti fragrances back to back. First of which is Chantilly. Chantilly. You guys heard of this one? Are you a fan of Gritti fragrances? We had a Gritti sample in our latest mystery box. So this is super fruity and also a bit marine because it has melons in it. And melons are giving you that kind of marine edge. But there's powdery notes, so it's becoming powdery. It's quite vanillic. But the strawberries are not super jammy. There's a freshness about the strawberries here. It's not acting like strawberry jam. It's not acting like candied strawberries. Once again, it smells like unripened strawberries. Does that make sense? Like, when it's unripened, there's not much flavor there, which is the kind of strawberries I don't care for. But you get an idea when you're eating it blind, you know it's strawberries. That's the kind of strawberries I get here and also in the next one. The next one was recently in our mystery box. It's Eclectique. Let me know if you were able to sample that one yet. Eclectique is also kind of fresh. The Eclectique also reminds me of a Terenzi fragrance. But the Eclectique starts fresh like the strawberries that are in the Chantilly, but then it becomes powdery. And at that time is when it reminds me more of a Terenzi fragrance, because Terenzi does a lot of fruity, powdery fruity fragrances, and also super concentrated. Although I believe this is eau de parfum. It is eau de parfum. Let me know what your thoughts are on Eclectique. I know some of you have the kit or bought the kit. Add a comment below. All right, we only have 4 more left, and I'm going to talk to you about 4 fragrances that I wanted to buy for this video that I wasn't able to. That might be a bit more popular than some of the fragrances I'm discussing today. But again, strawberry is fairly new. I am seeing more and more strawberry fragrances pop up, so I wanted to do one and highlight some of the fragrances that I have here. But the next fragrance is called, let's see where we got. This is mixed. This is not the right one. The next one is called Pop Heart from Plume Impression, a fragrance created by Mark Buxton. I have met Mark Buxton. So this is pineapple-y. It's fruity with raspberries and strawberries. It's basically a fruit compote. There's also kind of vanillic notes and caramel, but there's also apples, so it's got a crisp crunchiness. Juicy. It's quite juicy and powdery at the same time. So it's got a very gourmand quality about it, but behind it there's some kind of like amber woods and dusty woods there as well. So even though it acts juicy, it's got that dusty, woody, styling to it. I like this one. I actually enjoy it more now than when I first played around with it. The combo of the pineapples and the fruits and the apples together gives it a very major fruity edge, and also very juicy. And I like my fruity fragrances to be juicy. So that's Pop Heart from Plume Impression. And we've got one more fragrance from the same house called Love No Shame. And it's a fruity gourmand, I would say. The previous one was more of a fruity. This is more of a fruity gourmand because it's got a lot of cocoa. It's got creamy notes. This also has cherries and strawberries. I think it's a whipped strawberry cream in this. I think that's what they said. So that's why it's got a very creamy gourmand styling to it. There's also nutty notes, rose. This gives me the idea of Valentine's Day. Maybe chocolate covered or some kind of a thick molasses or syrup covered strawberries, or strawberries chopped up in something and you're eating them. This has rose, as I said, too. It's a good gourmand. But for some reason, I associate this with Valentine's Day. The theme is Valentine's. Even though it doesn't necessarily smell like chocolate covered roses, there is like cocoa in this fragrance. So it creates this kind of a gourmand, creamy consistency with the fruits. And once again, it's quite powdery. So that is Plume Impression's Love No Shame. Have you sampled that one? In our latest Scent Club kit, we have a fragrance from that house called Murmure d'été. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that fragrance. It's a really great fig fragrance created by Quentin Biche. But the next fragrance I'm talking about is from the house of D'Anum. This is Strawberry Mochi. Very unique fragrance. Strawberry Mochi acts sweet and savory for me. It has that rice note. It has the red bean paste. But once you get past those, you've got the strawberries. But if you guys remember the fragrance Taipei from One Day, which is also in our previous kit, this reminds me a little bit of that. but it has enough sweetness to balance it out, whereas Taipei goes complete savory. This has the sweet and savory vibe. Fruity. It's a fun fragrance. It's a bit girly, but I think the savory saves it from being full-on girly fragrance mode. I like that. So that's Strawberry Mochi from Dian Nam. And then last fragrance we're going to talk to you about is from the house of Panna London. It's Strawberry Delight. This is actually chocolate-covered strawberries. Totally smells like chocolate-covered strawberries. Yeah. Boozy, too. In fact, it's caked on chocolates, and you bite into it, and the chocolate is a thick layer of chocolate. And then, of course, the strawberries have been sitting there under the chocolate, so they have gotten a bit more concentrated flavor. And then, of course, maybe they dipped the strawberries in some kind of a liqueur. So there's a booziness there, but it's a fruity boozy, but a thick layer of chocolate, dark chocolate, delicious combo. This is a super chocolatey, strawberry, fruity gourmand. I don't know what's going on with this brand. I looked it up, and I still see them selling fragrances, but they used to be sold at Lucky Scent, and I don't see them at Lucky Scent anymore. So I don't know what happened, but I really love this. And there's a few other fragrances from the house that I also really love, but I don't know what they're doing lately. That's a really great gourmand. And that's the last fragrance here with all the strawberry fragrances. Let me tell you a few fragrances that I wanted to get, but I didn't. One of the ones that I really wanted was Fleur's Strawberry Letter. I haven't even got my nose on it. I was thinking of blind buying it. I didn't. But as I was mentioning recently, I really fell in love with Cherry Stem from Fleur. So I thought maybe the Strawberry Letter might be similar. Not similar, but I might like it. But I just didn't have a chance to go to Sephora and smell it and pick it up there. So if you guys have any ideas on Strawberry Letter, do let me know. Add a comment below. Do you enjoy it? Is the strawberry kind of a, more mature strawberry? Is it sweet and candied? Is it a bit tart? Is it green? What kind of strawberries is featured in there? Do let me know. Add a comment below, because I'd like to eventually get it, but I don't know if it's worth it. Well, maybe I'll just figure out a way to smell it. That would be ideal, but I don't see the brand much anywhere except for Sephora, and I haven't gone to Sephora in ages. The next fragrance I wanted to get was Juliet Has a Gun Miami Shake. So this sounds like a strawberry milkshakey kind of idea. Do you guys think that? Have you gotten your nose on it? Is it a fun fragrance? Yeah, I haven't got my nose on this one as well, and I just noticed that they're launching a new Madeline-focused gourmand fragrance, which I'm quite excited to get my nose on. But I was never able to get my nose on Miami Shake, and it kind of sounds like it's a strawberry milkshake kind of a theme. What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are on it. Is it girly? Is it young? Is it a bit mature? Does it smell good? Does it smell bad? Let me know. Add a comment below. I'd like to really find out about these 4 fragrances. And the next one, I think it might, from what I heard, it's good, but it's called Fragaria from Creed. I don't know how that is. If you've gotten your nose on it, do let us know. Add a comment below if it's worth checking out as well. Creed Fragaria, I know Creed just launched their oud. Is it Oud Arazan? Azarian? Something like that? I haven't got my nose on the oud as well, but I'm quite curious about Fragaria. Where does the name come from, Fragaria? Creed Fragaria. If you like it, let me know. And how is the strawberry in Creed Fragaria? Is it super girly? Is it a mature strawberry? Is it super fruity? Is it candied? I doubt that Creed would make a super girly, candied kind of a strawberry fragrance, but who knows? And then the last fragrance I wanted to have in this video was Molton Brown's Bluebell and Wild Strawberry. I can kind of get an idea that it might be a bit green floral leaning fruity fragrance. And I doubt that Molton Brown makes very super girly fragrances. It does have a bit of a mature side to it or mature quality about the brand, but I don't know. I haven't been able to get my nose on this one either, and I'm quite curious. If you've gotten your nose on Bluebell and Wild Strawberry, do let me know, add a comment below if it's worth picking up. Any of the 4 that I spoke about, if they are worth picking up. But that's all I have for you guys today. Strawberry fragrances. I'm going to give you a ranking here in a bit. I would actually have to say, number 1, for sure, it's got to be Malin+Goetz Strawberry. It's so damn good. So good. Number 2 is got to be Strawberry Delight. Yum. So yum. So yum. Okay. What are we going to put next? Armure Mara at number 3 from the house of Rabanne. So next, I would put Love No Shame. And then finally at 5, Loubidoo. Do you like that little? It's got a lipstick. I'm going to give you a few more. Let's do a top 7. I'm going to leave TURATH out because even though it features strawberries, the strawberries were not so prominent. And I think I want the idea of very strong, prominent strawberries. So the next one would be Guilty Crush. And finally, I really liked Popcorn Cake. But it might be kind of similar to Strawberry Mochi. Go with Popcorn Cake. Even though the bottle is very pink. Guys, I completely forgot one fragrance. I don't know how it's on the list and I completely skipped it. It's because I didn't pull it out and put it on the table. And as I was putting things away, I thought, where is that fragrance? Then I realized I didn't talk about it. I'm talking about a fragrance from the house of Stefan Humbert Lucas. It's called Venom Incarnat. I haven't spoken much about this house. I'd like to, but I specifically bought this from ZGO Perfumery because I wanted to talk about it. And the brand is sold at ZGO Perfumery. If you are local, you can head over there and check them out. But I completely spaced and I bought it specifically for this video, but I completely forgot. But we're going to talk about it now. I don't know much about it as it's brand spanking new. And who's a fan of this house? What do you guys like about this house? There are a few fragrances I have spoken about from this house, but not too many. There's strawberries, there's raspberries, caramel, leather, blackberries. There's woody notes and there's vanillic notes. It's a bit boozy as well. That's quite delicious. And then, once again, I think this might be the similar idea to Room 1015's Cherry Punk, where the cherry is replaced by strawberries, and it's got a major leathery effect happening here. It's quite leathery. But something in there with the notes, could be the fruity notes, it's acting a bit boozy, which I quite like. It's quite a boozy offering with a fruitiness. And the strawberries are not super girly, not super candied. It's a tart. There's a tartness about it. But for sure, it's a nice marriage with strawberries' fruitiness with the leatheriness of the leather. There's definitely tartness here. It's nice. It's a really nice one. And it comes in with a really gorgeous bottle. Let me know if you guys like this brand, Stefan Humbert Lucas. I love the bottles. Yeah, I think the idea, like Cherry Punk Extrait, which we featured in a kit, it was actually even more amplified leather, because the original has leather, but I felt like the Cherry Punk Extrait had more leather, and so they've amped it up. If I was ranking the list again, this would be in the list. This would be after Strawberry, then it would be... This would come after Armure Mara. For now. That is Venom Incarnat. Anyway, sorry about that. I completely forgot, but now you have it. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's my ranking. I absolutely love Strawberry by Malin+Goetz. I mean, it's just the right kind of strawberry fragrance. It's not super feminine. It's got the fruitiness. It's a bit green. Super sexy, musky. Not super long lasting. Not beast mode. But it's just a perfect fragrance to wear in the heat. Or all year round. It's a nice, musky, green strawberry fragrance. Totally love it. That's Strawberry by Malin+Goetz. And thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please give a thumbs up for sure. And also subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon. And I'll see you guys later with another video. Bye-bye.